Hi everyone, this is the setup video for lab 3 on friction. So in this lab, you're going to do two different experiments in order to determine what's the coefficient of friction between the iLab device and another surface. So for this part, you're going to have to put these felt strips on. So you have these two little strips here that have there's red felt, and it has a little sticker you can peel off, and then it'll stick onto the iLab device. So you can see on this one, I put it on the bottom, the side that's not the wheel side, and just on the opposite ends. Okay, so that's where you want to stick them. And so you basically want to know what is the coefficient of kinetic friction. Okay, so remember that's friction of moving. Okay, so as the device moves, how much friction is there between the device with the felt pieces and some other surface? You could do any other surface that you want. The one suggestion I could give you is that the rougher the surface, then it's going to be easier to see that kinetic friction that's there. So, but just not too rough. Okay, if something that's too rough, like concrete or something, might be cause different type of problems in getting good data. Okay, and so you're essentially going to do this two different ways. So you're going to need to use two different sensors in order to come up with this. And then essentially, like if you read here in part 1, you're going to compare. You're going to look at the data from one experiment versus another and try to determine which method was better, which method gave you better data. Okay, and so it's other than the fact that you're doing two different ways, using two different sensors, it's pretty similar to the previous lab, where you're going to write up an introduction, an experimental design section. You're going to talk about your data. You're going to analyze your data. But then one other new thing for this lab is this next steps section. Okay, so in this final part, I want you to start thinking about what you did, the experiments you made, how good was your data? Okay, what could you do if you were to do this again, try it again? What could you change? What could you modify to get more accurate measurements? Okay, so you don't actually have to do that part, but I want you to start thinking about this, and you're going to have to write that up in your next step section, what you could do if you were to do a follow-up experiment. And then the same thing as far as grading, the grading rubric will tell you everything you need to include there. And of course you can, if you're working with a team, you can all upload one report for your team. One person in the team can do it. You don't have to do, everyone in the team doesn't have to upload a separate one. You can just upload one for the team as long as everyone's names are on the report. Okay, and that's it for the setup video for lab 3.